Kemper Profiler Tones and Talks, Season 2, Episode 13. We're looking again into some special legendary guitar tones. And with us again is Mr. Thomas Still. Hello.
Hello.
It's about a cover version today, a very famous one. And here's the video. So this obviously is about Hallelujah by Mr. Leonard Cohen, and the version made famous by Jeff Buckley. Rest in peace, unfortunately, too bad. And he created a very sparse version of that song, very intriguing, with just his electric guitar and his singing. And the guitar sound in the complete guitar sound has been discussed a lot of times. And Thomas looked into this and will educate us with a little bit more details he found out and give us an idea how to be able to maybe recreate it in a way.
Yeah, for me, the guitar sound is, beside his fantastic singing, fantastic playing, but it carries the song, and it's an easy chord progression. And if you play it just with a normal amp, it would sound like that. Nice, but not really carrying all the atmosphere. And first of all, let's look at some song facts, very interesting song facts about this song. Here we are. Tom said it, the song is Hallelujah, the composer Leonard Cohen. The album where Jeff Buckley recorded it was his only album that he recorded, is Grace, the legendary Grace album, released in 1994. And the studio was Bursville Recording Studio in Woodstock. And the producer was Andy Wallace. The original by Leonard Cohen was released in 1984. And very interesting, there's a movie about this song. If you're interested in Leonard Cohen, in Hallelujah, please watch this movie. You get all the informations behind that, because the American record company didn't want to release his album where Hallelujah was on. Various Positions is the album. And he released it at a smaller label, and it went a little bit famous in 1991 when John Cale recorded that song on a tribute album to Leonard Cohen. It's called I'm Your Fan. And the original version was with band, with drums, bass, and keyboards and everything, some more gospel style. And the John Cale version was only with piano. And this version was the inspiration for Jeff Buckley to record this song, but he didn't record it with piano, he recorded it with guitar. So guitar, he played an 1983 Fender Telecaster, and it was a 1952 style Tele in butterscotch blonde with a 6-saddle bridge, a top loader bridge. So that means you put the strings here on the bridge, not through the body. It has a Seymour Duncan hot rails at the bridge. I don't know if it's replaced or if it came from factory with that, and a mirror pickguard. Interesting thing, it wasn't Jeff Buckley's guitar. He borrowed it from Jenny Nichols, a director at a local art institute in New York. And after his tragic death, it went back to Janine Nichols, and she sold it at an auction in 2011. And then it went to several people who owned this guitar. And here's a picture of the guitar too. And here are two pictures with Jeff Buckley playing this guitar. And here's one guy who is a huge fan of Jeff Buckley. And, Jeff Buckley he said that was his inspiration, Miles Kennedy. And he played the original guitar at a gig in Paris because the owner of the guitar at that time was Matt's Guitar Shop in Paris. And he came to the concert and gave Miles Kennedy, just for this one song, this guitar. And there's a video on YouTube where you can see it. And he made also a great version of the song. And the lucky owner of the guitar is this guy now.
Matt Bellamy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He bought it from the two Matts, Matt Bellamy on the left and Matt Lucas, Matt's Guitar Shop from Paris. He bought it in 2021. And Matt Bellamy said that he will not only hang it on the wall, the guitar, he will use it for maybe a Muse album. So let's see and let's listen. So these are the facts about the legendary Jeff Buckley Tele and amps. He used two amps on stage, a Fender Vibe Reverb and a Mesa Boogie Tremor Verb. So this is the Fender Vibe Reverb. It was a 63 reissue model, 40 watts, two 10-inch speakers, and yeah, for the clean tones. It was used for the clean tones. The Mesa Boogie Tremor Verb is, let's say, the blues rectifier from Mesa Boogie. They built it from 1993 till 2002, I think. 100 watt, 2-channel amp, combo amp. You also can have it as a head version. Two 12-inch speakers, spring reverb, and tremolo on board. So really seldom for Mesa Boogie amps. And I don't know if he used the effects on that one, but definitely not for Hallelujah, because the effect he was using was an Alesis Quadraverb. This is this unit, and this is the main sound for this great atmospheric reverb guitar tone that he uses. The quadraverb of, let's say, the MIDI verb, that was the first reverb unit from Alesis, was created in 1986, and it was the first affordable digital reverb unit that sounded okay at that era, at that time, and it was with 16-bit, and it cost just a little bit under $1,000. And the Quadraverb was the one which was invented in or released in 1989. Here's another picture. And for that song, I found out, I read on some pages on the internet, he used a Taj Mahal preset. So there was one preset in there called Taj Mahal, and he did a little bit of modifying. But if you own a Quadraverb and you have this Taj Mahal preset, you've already almost done with the sound of this song. So that was my stuff now, to recreate this Taj Mahal sound with the Kemper Profiler. And let's switch over to the rig manager. And there is not really only a reverb that I'm using on that sound. You see the signal chain here, compressor, amp. I have a Vibro King profile from the Amp Factory. The Amp Factory here somewhere, the Amp Factory 1 to 4. Find that original profile. And Studio EQ, micro pitch, space, and natural reverb. So you heard the sound already. I will turn everything off, just the amp. So this is the pure amp sound. Clean Fender tone. If you like to, I have, I made this rig before all this liquid profiling stuff coming up, and I put the EQ position in pre and added a little bit of presence, treble, and middle and bass. If you like to, you can change this. If you like to modify this tone a little bit, maybe to the Vibrolux normal channel, then you see there's only a bass and treble. Now it sounds the same. But if you want to boost some treble, you can have it using that amp model or that tone stack of that model. You can have it more natural sounding and natural, more reacting EQ. We showed that in several videos now. At that time when we record this video, it's not available. Tom, do you know when it will be available?
Not precisely, but it looks like that it will happen sometime in July. So
Okay.
most probably second half of July, if everything goes according to plan, which it seems right now. That's what I heard, but that's not
We can't say.
a definite.
So
Answer.
maybe till Christmas.
Before Christmas, yeah.
Sometime before Christmas.
NAMM, it is NAMM, not available. Maybe May.
Yeah. Okay, so please be patient for that. But for this sound, you don't need it really, because I adjusted it really close to the original sound. And the next thing is the Studio EQ. What did I do? Just a little bit of high cut, but not much. And high gain at 4K boosted, and the mid gain at 1.7 boosted, just to match a little bit more to the original recorded sound. So this is something, Studio EQ, something like the that I have on the recording desk used to just boost some particular frequency ranges. So this is the sound. Now, first of all, the first reverb I'm using is the space reverb. This is just a very simple reverb which creates, a room. Just a short note. Car driving outside. Play it again. Without. Very, very sitting in front of you. So this is more lightly three-dimensional. The next thing is the compressor. And as always, it's just to boost the softer picked notes. So without the compressor. So this gives me a little bit better play feeling when playing with the fingers, when picking with the fingers. So it's getting a little bit more boosted then. Is easier to play. The settings are 3.1 with intensity, really low attack 2.1, squash at 0, the mix level at 78%, and volume at 0. So nothing really fancy stuff or fancy sounding. It's just a natural boosting for the softer picked notes. So then let's say the Taj Mahal these days. That's what I heard. Is this one natural reverb, decay time at 4.8, so really long, room size 7.3, and a pre-delay with 68 milliseconds, so that the first guitar notes are heard better, and the reverb kicks in a little bit later. The mix level is at 29%, so not really much. Not much high cut, but very important is the modulation. And here's the sound. Without the modulation, this is the sound. With modulation, you hear it's wobbling a little bit. And this creates this nice, let's say out of tune atmosphere. Something that all the tele players do. Wait a minute, I turn that off. Modulation is now modulation is off. What you do when you play tele or something without a tremolo bar. You move the neck, to create a light modulation. And the reverb with the modulation on does this effect quite good. So not quite good, it's not the same, but it imitates this sound of moving some little bit the string frequency. And now with the modulation on, you get this nice sounding modulated tone at the back. So going back to the rig manager, there's one left. So these are the settings. Is there something more to mention? I don't think. No big high cut. So it needs to shine, the sound. And some little bit of spice is added by the micro pitch. It's not really much. So I will turn the reverb off. So no, this is the space. So here, this is micro pitch on, off. Little bit stereo effect. You see the detune is just at 0.9 cent. Crossover 177. Mix level at 28. So if I will turn it all the way up, you get this one. Definitely too much. So you get this stereo double-tracked guitar tone. That's what I didn't want. Turning it down. And then without again. You get a more brighter sounding guitar tone, and then with the reverb added,
really cool.
Yeah.
Because you create this, how would you call it, a following cloud
Yeah.
to the guitar tones without sounding it too obviously as it being reverb. That's
Yeah.
quite subtle.
That's true, and it's a really the natural reverb of all the reverbs are really great dynamic reverbs. So you get when you play soft. So it reacts really great, but always stays behind the guitar tone. And it's never muddy, even if you have a higher amount of effect signal. And what I found out, it's really interesting. I play for me. I'm playing with the thumb all the time. I think he's picking it with a finger for the fingers, and you hear all the differences in this tone. So with a higher amount of effects on that and with the amp. So just one example. Now I'm playing, I think you can see it, with the thumb and the fingernail for the chords. Or picking. Or using a max pick number 5 pick. Right. Dunlop nylon 88. Or the rounded one, D'Andrea. Every detail is really heard. And this is, I think this is, it should be normal. When you're using an amp or amp, modeled amp, real amp, something like that, and using much effects. So we have, it's not really much, but 2 reverbs, micro pitch, compressor, and you need to hear all the details. Some others don't have these details. And yeah, it's very important for the expression of guitar players to have these details be heard. So this is, I just tried that. Should I play it with the fingers? Should I play it with the nail on the pick or something like that? And I found out that everything really sounds different, and this is great. So for me, for my playing, was the thumb was the one.
Cool. Yeah, you're so right, and reminds me a little bit of that. There's this interview with Dallas Shue, the guitar tech for the Edge of U2, where he the most drastic thing he's showing is this guitar pick the Edge uses. Have you seen that? Are you familiar with that? So they're in this big arena, and they're then finally on stage after looking at all the amps and rack shenanigans, and he's taking the Gretsch, and he's playing I don't know, intro of Streets Have No Name or so, and he shows the pick he uses, and he tells the story that it was before an old German company. I just don't remember the name yet. They were like in German we call it Noppen, like little Heribar, exactly, Heribar picks, and
I have one here.
And the Edge used the side with a grid on it, to play these notes, and then he showed the pick he has, because Herrera is not in business anymore, and so the Edge had another company make something similar to this, and he's turning them around if he's doing things like this or picking the notes, and he's using this the grid to and. Dallas is demonstrating this in the big arena, and it really makes a difference. So these things, yeah, exactly. So these things.
Wait.
Yeah, and if you play single notes like a chord, you have that right. So these make a lot of difference, but only if the rest of your stuff allows for these details to come through, so that the human part of the articulation and the performance really has the ability to shine through, because that's in the end that makes all the difference, because that's what makes everything unique. So yeah, again, thank you for this and all these also, how would you call it, basic tone design philosophy insights to make things really special. So yeah, Thomas, this is about Jeff Buckley and Hallelujah. There could be a lot of more information about this song, about the lyrics and the long version, because I tried to find it, but somehow it disappeared. Basically, there's, I don't know, 20 or even more verses of the...
They talk about 150 verses, but...
Yeah, you heard about that as well. So I try to find a little bit. So the popular and usually played ones are like 6 or 7 or 8 verses.
Even Leonard Cohen changed the verses. On the recording, there's more things about God and everything, and he changed it to a more worldly and different stuff. Like let's say different stuff. And when he toured and when he played that on stage, so he was he wrote about, I think he said 7 years on that song to get it finished to record. So yeah.
That's also pretty interesting, and how he mixed, and how would you say, because even like two days ago, a friend came by and talked about this how do you call it, at the funeral, the service, when everybody's there together, and there was a little orchestra playing, and they played Hallelujah, and I was listening and waiting for what he has to say about that. And so most of the people just listen to this Hallelujah because it's very important and big chorus. But the lyrics in between turn, as you said it, to some completely different things, and turn this whole godly things and where is God completely around. Yeah, when you're tied to a kitchen chair and things like that. And
and special on that song, many people use that, or it was played at a funeral. I think it was at Chris Cornell's funeral too, where who was singing it?
The singer of Linkin Park.
Chester Bennington.
Yeah, Chester, and he died a couple of months later as well.
Sadly. But also, people use that song at their wedding. So, then there's the part tied at the...
Well, that's also now we're getting into songwriting. That's pretty interesting. Because no, let's not open that can of worms. So, but a good reference. So, and here again we realize what's so special about what the real ingredients are for the great songs. And yeah, that would be something worth talking about as well, but at a different time in a different format. Okay, so thanks for now again. And yeah, we'll meet next time with episode 14, and we will see what that will be. Take care, everybody.
Bye.